If you've clicked on this video, it's because the thumbnail caught your eye. Probably made you think, hang on, what's going on there? And you'd be right, because this isn't just unusual, it's special. The sort of special that makes you lean forward in your chair and mutter, oh yes. If you happen to be a fan of the Yamaha Virago, prepare yourself. Because what you're about to see is so good that it makes most normal bikes look about as exciting as a microwave. I don't mean to offend microwaves, of course, but let's be honest. No one has ever looked at one and thought, wow, I need that in my garage. Welcome to Racertv. This is the Silver Arrow, a machine balanced between eras, where Japanese engineering meets British spirit, and then flirts outrageously with Italian obsession. Among all the customized Viragos that have ever graced the earth, nothing, and I mean nothing, quite like this has ever been built. And just look at it. It's absolutely spectacular. But it's not just a pretty face. This is one of those rare cases where you can honestly say, when the guy's good, he's good. That guy, by the way, is Italian builder Christian Moretti, the mastermind behind Plan B motorcycles. And if that name sounds familiar, congratulations. Your memory is working. Because, believe it or not, Christian built the very first Yamaha Virago I featured on this channel 10 years ago. And here's the amazing bit. Even after a whole decade, that old project still looks gorgeous. Don't think so? But this time, Christian has gone even bolder. And here's where it gets interesting. What looks like the most complicated part of this build isn't. In fact, everything that looks tricky at first glance was actually quite simple. The most challenging modification of all, you can't see it, but it's there, quietly mocking you. Only a true fan and connoisseur of this Yamaha model can spot the boldest change of all. But we'll get to that in a minute. So Christian tried to create a Japanese motorcycle that wants to look like an English machine from the 60s, but with a dose of Italian mad engineering layered on top. And somehow, it worked. The fuel tank, side covers, fenders and rear cowl were all hand-formed in aluminum. And contrary to what you may be thinking, the original frame is still there. Christian didn't throw it away. He just built a new molded subframe around it, inspired by the legendary Norton's featherbed frame. And to maintain consistency, he adapted a swing arm from a Ducati F1. The stainless steel exhaust system is also handmade, finishing in 2 classic cone silencers. Personally, I think the exhaust system layout is just magnificent. Probably one of those design choices that makes people stop, stare, and mutter, "What on earth is that? And why do I suddenly want one?" At this point, I bet many of you are thinking that the position of the exhaust pipes is not the ideal solution. And why would that be? Yes, unfortunately, the human body is not yet burn-proof. But can these side covers solve this problem? Maybe not. What if it has a layer of thermal insulation inside? Simple, but effective. As usual, for reasons of time, I won't be able to describe all the modifications Christian made to this project. But there is one that will leave you very impressed. As I said before, only a true fan and connoisseur of the Yamaha Virago can see it at first glance. But here's a little help. Do you see where the carburetors are? To some, this may even seem like an insignificant change. But in reality, this modification requires a monumental amount of work on the rear cylinder head. Essentially, the intake and exhaust valves were swapped. This means welding out the valve seats, remachining the head, building a one-off valve, and using a different camshaft with new timing. Will the engine work well after these complex changes? To be honest, the engine seems to even start better than when it was new. Although in reality it is. Because internally everything has been renewed or updated, like these Mikuni carburetors. The big question is, why did Christian change the rear cylinder head? Since this Yamaha engine is often nicknamed the poor man's Vincent, he wanted to take this idea further and make it legitimate. And so all this monumental work was aimed at recalling the character of the old Vincent engines with a touch of inspiration from the Harley XR 750. All of this tells you one thing. Christian took the aesthetics of this project very seriously. Speaking of aesthetics, here's a fun question. Do you remember the last time I showed you a cafe racer with a proper rear fender and an actual tail light? No? Neither do I. So I went digging through my archives, and to my utter shock, I found one. Just one. From 11 years ago, which tells you everything you need to know. This build isn't just special, it's properly special. Christian has absolutely nailed it on every level. It's got presence, proportion, and polish. Every line, every curve, every tiny bolt seems to have been placed by someone who knows exactly what beauty looks like in metal form. And from every angle it looks absolutely magnificent. Honestly, I think I can now say, without fear of being struck by lightning, that this might just be my favorite Yamaha Virago. Or to put it another way, probably the most beautiful Virago cafe racer on the planet. But I'll let you decide whether I'm right or spectacularly wrong. Thank you for watching Racertv. And as always, I hope to see you on the next video.